December 23rd, 2009, at a Kid Cudi concert in Atlanta, Kanye West admitted to selling his soul to the devil.
I sold my soul to the devil.
Fast forward more than a decade later, and he admitted to sacrificing his mom for this.
My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
These are two of many instances where a rapper made a reference to selling their soul. But today, we're going to separate the myth from the fact and answer questions that the industry tends to avoid. Like, what exactly does it mean when a rapper sells their soul? How exactly do they even get it done? And most importantly, what happens after a rapper sells their soul? And it all starts in the 1930s. When a man named Robert Johnson was told to bring his guitar out to a crossroads near Dockery Plantation right around midnight. Some people say it happened at other places too, but this is just the one most people talk about. So he shows up, and this tall, dark figure, supposedly the devil himself, takes his guitar, tunes it up, and plays a few songs. Then he hands it back, and just like that, Johnson's got this crazy talent, like he was gifted something far beyond this world. After that supposed deal with the devil, Johnson's fame started to grow in the Delta pretty quickly, but he didn't really make it big outside the region while he was alive. People recognized him for his haunting voice and those impressive guitar skills that seemed to come out of nowhere, leaving other musicians in awe. His songs like Crossroad Blues and Love in Vain had a unique style and emotional depth that really caught people's attention. Johnson's talent had that mysterious backstory that made him a local legend. But he didn't see much success beyond the South in his lifetime. It wasn't until after he passed away in 1938, when his recordings came back into the spotlight in the 60s, that he finally got the recognition he deserved and became known as one of the most influential blues musicians ever. Prior to his death, he did record a few tracks in 1936, but those didn't even get much notice. He had a tough time dealing with poverty and all the competition from other musicians trying to make a breakthrough in a suspiciously short amount of time. And let's be really clear, there is no substantial evidence that Johnson met up with the devil, let alone sold his soul to him. But this is just a clear example of what it actually means to sell your soul, making a deal usually with a dark force or with the promise of success, fame, or fortune, but at a high personal cost. Imagine being so hungry for success that you trade a part of yourself, maybe even your peace or happiness, for a guaranteed price at the top. It's more than a metaphor. It's this feeling of giving up something deep, like your values or identity, to gain something big but often temporary. In the music world, especially with rappers, selling your soul is often talked about as a trade-off where fame and fortune come with a heavy, often unseen price. Sure, on the surface, the deal might seem like a dream come true. Money, cars, designer clothes, and endless parties. But behind all that, the person might feel hollow, controlled, or isolated, realizing they've lost their freedom and authenticity. The Island Boys are a set of twin rappers who sold their soul, or at least one of them did. At some point, it seemed like they enjoyed or even liked the fact that they sold their soul to the devil, as one of them, Fly Soulja, had this to say.
Okay, so you guys keep asking me and keep bugging me about the same question over and over again. You're asking why and stuff like that. Look, man, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I wasn't happy, so I did what I had to do. You know, I said this once before, I don't know how many times I had to say it. It is what it is. That's just what life, it just is. It came at a random time in my life, and I was going up, but I wasn't going up as fast as I wanted to. So the fastest way I could do it was by doing that. I wasn't happy already, so I'm like, what can make me happy? You know, which I asked for money and fame, and yeah.
For these guys, there's no questioning that they sold themselves. But before they went viral, The Island Boys had a pretty rough start. Born in Florida to Cuban parents, the twins didn't have the easiest childhood. They lost their dad when they were just 6, which shook up their whole family life and left them to figure things out on their own through their teen years. As they got older, they started running into serious trouble. By their teens, they had more than a few brushes with the law, ending up in juvie a couple of times for things like robbery and burglary. That early life shaped the bold, rebellious vibe they'd later show online. School didn't really stick for them, as they dropped out early and decided to go all in on social media and music, even though it took them time to get noticed. The brothers knew they had to stand out, so they went with the face tats, unique hairstyles, and flashy fashion to build their image. They were grinding on TikTok even before the fame hit, posting videos and trying to grow a following. But it was that one "I'm an Island Boy" freestyle that blew up, taking them from hustling online to full-on internet fame practically overnight. At this point, I'm pretty sure you know why. Well, even after their soul-selling adventure with the devil and overnight popularity, the duo never really got the happiness they were seeking. Instead, what came after was a bunch of misery and pain.
Hey bro, about a week ago, I sold my soul. You understand what I'm saying? And ever since I sold my soul, I haven't been happy ever since.
If only they knew. And if only Cardi B knew how to keep her mouth shut. Just maybe her supposed deal with the devil would have never been worth it at all. You see, back in 2019, Cardi B won a Grammy for the Best Rap Album of the Year, a category that had nominees with the likes of Swimming by Mac Miller, Victory Lap by Nipsey Hussle, Daytona by Pusha T, and Astroworld by Travis Scott. To hardcore rap fans, this was definitely a shocker, but as you're about to find out, it was all linked to Cardi being a puppet of the industry. You see, just before her limelight, before she was famous, Cardi B was just a girl from the Bronx with a lot of grit. Growing up in a working class Dominican family, she faced her share of struggles. The South Bronx taught her a lot, from the hustle to the unfiltered attitude that would become her signature style. As a teen, Cardi went to Renaissance High School for music theater and technology. But things weren't easy. She worked all kinds of jobs, even one at an Amish market, just to get by. By 19, she's turned to stripping, not only to support herself, but also to escape an abusive relationship. Cardi's always been real about this part of her life, saying it gave her confidence and taught her the street smarts that she would need later. Cardi already had big dreams back then. Known for her humor and loud personality, she started building a following on Instagram, sharing wild, funny takes on life, love, and money. People loved how real she was, and she quickly gained a loyal fan base. In 2015, she joined Love and Hip Hop New York, where her energy made her a fan favorite, but music was always her main goal. She started dropping mixtapes, and in 2017, her hit Bodak Yellow took off, with her debut album, Invasion of Privacy, dropping in 2018. It all launched her into a mainstream fame, cementing her spot in hip-hop and making her one of the biggest names out there. But here's the twist. Just after hitting the pinnacle of her career by winning the Rap Album of the Year in 2019, Cardi seemed to have fallen from her sudden heights, as she has not been able to produce any singles for the past several years, let alone produce an album. She has even been involved in some serious controversies, fights, and scandals, and many of us, including her fans, were beginning to wonder what was going on with the one-time Grammy Award-winning artist. Well, the answer to that was in an audio she released after she gave birth to her child, where she said this.
It's like these songs are activating like these demons that I killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that girl anymore. Like I just want to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that old Cardi anymore. I left that lifestyle a long time ago, bro. Like, I don't want to be that anymore. Like, and she's coming back. She's coming back, bro. Like, I feel like getting a cane. If you know about the canes, then you know. I don't want to be that anymore. I want to be a mother. This song is activating demons that I locked away a long time ago. And it's coming back again. And I don't want to be that. I want to be a good person. I don't want to.
And if you are still doubting that Cardi sold her soul, Here's Kanye making a confirmation.
Cardi B is a plant by the Illuminati. She don't write her raps. She's just there to like sound as ignorant as possible. And then make songs like fuck him and you get some money.
And while Cardi B's career isn't as great as it used to be, Kanye isn't all that innocent himself. Because back in 2009, Kanye made a bizarre statement at the Kid Cudi concert talking about how he sold his soul to the devil. And being one of the most controversial rappers of all time, there are actually hints that give him away as someone who sold their soul to get him where he's at today. But his story started from when some of us knew him as a creative kid from Chicago, with big dreams and a unique vibe. Born in Atlanta, but raised in Chicago since he was 3. He grew up with his mom, Dr. Donda West, who was a professor and his biggest supporter. She believed in him hard, pushed him to follow his dreams, and always had his back when it came to making music. As a teen, Kanye was already all about the arts. He was into drawing, poetry, and of course music. He started making beats in high school and got serious about producing by his late teens. His style wasn't your typical Chicago hardcore rap. He was into soulful sounds, sampling, and bringing a fresh vibe to hip-hop. But breaking into the industry wasn't easy, especially since he didn't have that street image most rappers did. After high school, Kanye got a scholarship to the American Academy of Art in Chicago, then transferred to Chicago State University, where his mom taught. But he soon dropped out to chase his music dreams full time, a move that later inspired his first album, The College Dropout. At first, he struggled to be seen as a rapper. People just wanted his beats. He kept grinding with local Chicago artists, building his name, and eventually caught the attention of big names like Jay-Z. He started producing hits for Rockefeller Records, which helped him get his foot in the industry door. But Kanye didn't want to just make beats. He wanted to be in the spotlight. And that was when the hunger for more came in. After years of working for others, he finally got his chance to step up as an artist, but this came with a heavy price, which was his soul signing adventure to Rockefeller Records under Dame Dash.
My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Well, after that, with The College Dropout in 2004, he brought a whole new sound to hip-hop, mixing soul, gospel, and real stories from his life. Although we know that he sold his soul, it seems like he was trying to get out ever since. As a result, he has made statements hinting at the fact the powers that control the industry are trying to poison the minds of the children through their cartoons and kid shows.
From the indoctrination of the media, the thousands and thousands of images that are fed to children by the age of 6 or 7. And within those images, there are images mixed in that we don't know about as parents that are purposely mixed in to lower the kids' superpower and esteem so that they can be more susceptible to consumption and feel that they need to consume and become a part of the robotic numeric system that controls so much of the media.
At this point, it has been speculated that because Ye has actually said too much, he has been made a clone.
If I ever went anywhere, we'd know why.
Ye's face has been changing so much nowadays that it feels like he is using AI. And even though Ye's story seems bad enough, Lil Uzi Vert cannot possibly be compared to it. For the record, Lil Uzi Vert changed their pronouns from he/him to they/them, so that's what I'll be using for the rest of the video. Although most of their fans didn't believe that they sold their soul, there is no denying that they actually sold their soul, especially after saying this.
Did I sell my soul? I sold my soul for you.
Apart from this, what also makes us believe that Lil Uzi Vert sold their soul was when they had a pink diamond implant on their forehead, worth a whopping sum of $24 million back in February 2021. Only for it to be ripped out by fans during a performance at Rolling Loud Miami, which happened in July of the same year. Well, that must have really hurt. Not the ripping out part, but the cost of the pink diamond, which they claimed to have been paying for since 2017. In order to still prove their soul-selling adventure, Lil Uzi Vert said "I Make a City Girl Believe in Satan" in an unreleased song at the Rolling Loud Festival in California. The lyric was a reference to their girlfriend JT. Now, if that's not enough proof, I don't know what is. Before all the fame and fortune, before their soul-selling encounter, Lil Uzi Vert, real name Symere Woods, was just a regular kid from North Philadelphia figuring things out. Growing up, they faced their own share of struggles. Philly's a tough spot, and Uzi often talks about how their early years were all grind. School wasn't really their thing, and they didn't vibe with that traditional path, and ended up dropping out, knowing that route was just not for them. Music though, that's what they were drawn to. Uzi was listening to all kinds of sounds, from Marilyn Manson to the All-American Rejects when they were 13 years old, and that blend of influencers shaped the style they eventually blew up with. But back then, Uzi wasn't the kid everyone thought would go big. Uzi started rapping just for fun with friends, and even had a little group called Staketown in high school. It didn't take off right away, but it was a start. After they dropped out, Uzi had to hustle to make money. One of their first jobs was at a dollar store, but they weren't there long before realizing that they wanted something bigger. They started posting their tracks on SoundCloud, just grinding and putting themselves out there. Slowly but surely, their music started getting noticed. Eventually, Uzi connected with local producers and got their big break with the track Money Longer. From there, it was all up. Uzi eventually stood out, making their way from North Philly to the top of the charts. But all these were seen to be at a very high cost, which was their soul. Even in all their fame and fortune, Lil Uzi Vert has faced plenty of controversy over the years. Some people, like rapper Daylit, accuse them of being a Satanist, pointing to things like the way their name sounds like Lucifer, and their use of satanic imagery on social media. Uzi's legal run-ins include a 2016 dirt bike chase with police, resolved with community service, and a 2020 paintball fight in Philly that got them arrested. In 2021, they had a public altercation involving their ex, Brittany Bird, leading to assault charges and a plea deal with probation. Now, at this point, I know you must have heard pretty sad stories of rappers selling their soul, but the one that seems to be the saddest of them all is Juice WRLD. I mean, calling his name now brings down the atmosphere because he was truly an inspiration to young artists before he passed on. And before we get into this section, because this can be a sensitive topic, I just want to say long live Juice WRLD and that these are all theories, nothing more. But there was an aspect of his life that no one really talked about, and that was selling his soul. You see, in an interview with MTV News, he was asked to decode the meaning of the 999 he had tattooed on his arm, which he had this to say about it.
999, if you're a person that believes anything, any type of thing has to do with the Bible, I think in the last book of the Bible it say that 666 is the mark of the beast, right? And that's, you know, that's Satan, that's Baphomet, it's hell. 999 represents whatever bad situation, whatever struggle you're going through, and turning it into something positive and using it to push yourself forward.
From what I can see, 999 upside down represents 666, which is actually the mark of the beast in the last chapters of the Bible, which one can only wonder that he sold his soul. But if you feel like I'm making this up, then just check this out.
I'm gonna sell my soul. I'm gonna hit y'all when I'm through. I'm gonna be rich as hell, all right?
Look, Juice selling his soul. It ain't take too long, Illuminati, man.
What'd you say, Coop?
Look at this boy. Hey, nigga ready though.
Yeah, all of this vile evidence leading to Juice WRLD selling his soul is just eerie now. And it wasn't all roses for this rapper back in the days. Before all the fame, Juice WRLD, real name Gerard Higgins, was just a kid from Chicago with big dreams and serious talent. He grew up with his mom, who raised him solo and kept him away from the rough stuff around their neighborhood. She was strict about what he listened to, mostly letting him play gospel, but Juice still found his way to hip hop and rock on the down low. In school, Juice started messing with music, teaching himself piano, guitar, drums, and eventually freestyling. By high school, he was recording his own tracks and dropping them on SoundCloud under the name Juice the Kid, inspired by Tupac's character in Juice, although he was dealing with anxiety and depression, but he used music and unfortunately some substances to cope. Aside that, he put everything he had into his tracks, and people were starting to notice. When he dropped Lucid Dreams, written right in his bedroom, that song changed everything, flipping him from a Chicago kid with a SoundCloud account to one of the biggest names in rap practically overnight. Now, because you have to sacrifice something in order to sell your soul, people speculate that the rap legend sacrificed himself, resulting in the tragic and unexpected death of him. But one thing's for certain, Juice WRLD will forever be missed.